through the years, when I was young especially, I had to adapt and adopt different things. The men I worked with showed me what to do in some cases, but other times I had to work it out for myself. And there might be a time when you need to plough a groove like this, and you just reach for a plough plane, set it up, and you plough the groove in like a few seconds. It doesn't take long. And but there again, you might be somewhere where you don't have access to that plough, or you may not even own a plough. So I've got a short stick of oak here, and I'm going to show you what I would do in the zone. I would set up the gauge to a 1/4 inch chisel if I want a 1/4 inch groove, like that. Set the chisel centered on the piece of wood or to whatever location I want. In this case, I'm going off center, obviously. Okay, so I've got that run. So I just run that. Now, sometimes I will run that even with a plough plane because it stops the fibers, it cuts the surface fibers. But in this case, I'm going to go in with a knife and just pull my knife into those V's that were created with the marking gauge. Now, if you don't have a mortise gauge like I do, just go with a regular marking gauge and set it up to the right distance and go from both sides. That works great as well. So I've done that because I want to start making this project, and I've got a rail that needs a panel going in, something like that. So what I typically do is I would go in, if I don't have a plough plane, and I would go in with a chisel. But first of all, I would go in with a saw, and I might do this freehand like this and just work backwards to get that recessed wall, that wall done. Or on some occasions, I might put myself a very temporary fence in like this, and sometimes you can clamp it and sometimes you can't. Now in my case, I can't clamp it, so I'm going to go with a little dab of super glue like that. I'll put a couple on. You don't need very much. And then I'm going to spray some accelerator on here just to speed up the drying process. So I get these to correspond with those dabs of glue, and I start lowering from one end and then set it up right to that. Whoops, you don't let it slip if you can avoid it. So I've got about 5 seconds for that to harden up. So now it's hard. I can go in with my saw and run that along that edge. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is go with my knife first, right along that fence. That deepens it, and then I go with my saw like this, and I start rubbing that saw along that edge. And what this does, even if I'm ploughing with a plough plane, sometimes I'll do this, especially if I have a knot. Now I'm only going to go down about 3/16 of an inch, so 4 millimeters at most, maybe, something like that. Now from here, I would go with the chisel, but I would run that groove on the other side as well. So the way I deal with that is I just go with the hammer, pop it like that. Now that splits the glue. It doesn't damage the wood. 90% of the time it will never damage the wood. Let's turn this around and come from this side. So a small dab of glue yet again. Now I've got a narrow wall on this side. My fault. So I'm using what we call an accelerator, and this accelerator will speed up the drying process exponentially. So 1, 2, 3. Set this on that second guideline that you put there with the gauge. Give it time to set. I'm going to go with a little extra from this side. Okay, so I'm ready to do that other wall now. So I just set my saw on, let the weight of the saw do the work. Once you've penetrated those fibers, you're not really applying any pressure against the fence. You're just using it to keep your saw perpendicular. And now you've got this really beautiful wall. And you imagine if this is in the middle of a knot, if you had a knot right in the middle of there, you'd be sawing right down that middle. So what I'm going to do now is go with my 1/4" chisel, and I'm just going to go along like this, pop, pop, like this. You can see this is fast. So actually the bottom of the groove, if this was a door frame or a panel that was going to go in here, it wouldn't have to matter too much. Once you've gone along here, see, I'm lifting with each chop. I'm going about 3/8 of an inch with each chop. So I have very nice, crisp, clean walls to that recess, that groove. I love it. Don't you love it? This is real woodworking. And when we've got to that stage, we can go bevel down with the chisel and just run that through. Now that might be enough for what you want. It may not. What do we do if it's not? We want to go deeper. Well, we can go back in with the saw and we start sawing again. And we go in the other side and we saw, because we have a kerf to run that saw into. Then we can pop it again and we can go all the way along. I'm going to stop there, but what I'm going to do is take this off. So there it is, gone. I can go in with a plane if I have any residue of the glue. Take a shaving like this. That's gone. There's no residue. I don't have any torn grain. But what do I do if I want it nice and even in the bottom? I'd take a piece of wood like this. Now I want to stick out about 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to drill a hole through here, just like this. Let's go that way. So I've got a block of wood about 1 1/8 inches. And I've got a drill bit. Now I'm going to go with a narrower chisel, but I could go with the same size chisel. Slightly narrower, 3/16. And what I'm going to do is move this over, get it more centered. I'm just going to drill a hole. This is what I call Paul Sellers' poor man's router. Start your drill. Now this drill is about the same width as the chisel, so 3/16. But the back of the chisel, I want that to bite. I want the chisel to bite into the wall of this. So I work this in to the fibers, feeling for the path of least resistance, and I go. Now there's no guarantee that this is going to follow that path of least resistance. Sometimes it comes a little bit further up than you want, and you end up with a split on the underside. That doesn't bother me. How close am I? Close. So I'm just barely through. Not pretty. I don't care whether it's pretty. It's going to work. I think it will. Now I can adjust my depth. So let's go ahead, pop this into the vise. And we take this, now it's going to be called a router, a poor man's router. So it is kissing those surface fibers right now. Now if I hit here, that's going to send it down into the wood, so I can pull or push, and that will smooth up the bottom of my groove. I just have to stay between the saw kerfs like this, and I work either side till I get that final depth. And I've got the final depth on the bulk of it now. Sometimes it will jar like that, and that's going to be careful if you're doing this. I need a pointed awl. I'm going to an awl because the wood is jammed in there. Now if you were to scallop this part out, it would work just fine. So that is my poor man's router and my poor man's ploughed groove. So I'm feeling there, and I've got that. It is level at the bottom. When I come to put my strip in there, if I had a strip of metal, here's one, and this goes in like that. So I've got my groove ploughed. I don't really need much more than that, and it gets you in the zone. If you're in a bind, there you have it. That's how I would plough my groove.